The best teeth whitening machine on the market. Let's review the Beyond 2 Ultra. Hey, I'm Rach, Canadian dental assistant turned teeth whitening educator, founder, and industry leader. Over the past several years, I've helped whitening professionals across North America improve their client results, grow their businesses, and modernize their whitening systems. Whether you're a solo whitening artist or a multi-location dental practice, you're in the right place. Welcome to Mentor Rach, the teeth whitening industry expert. The Beyond 2 Ultra. Let's go over what it looks like first, and then we're gonna dive into actually the technical specs at the end of the video. First thing, you're gonna see that it looks completely different compared to any other whitening machine on the market. Why is that? This is what we call a cord-based system over an arm-based system. Here you can see that not only are you working with cords, but you do have the potential to actually see two patients at once. You can see there's a port 1 and a port 2, and you can run those at the exact same time on different intensities as well, which we're going to go over. It has a very easy digital touchpad. This is going to allow you to operate everything that you need to as a teeth whitening provider from the one screen. All you need to do when it comes to choosing the next steps once your whitening gel has been placed on your whitening client is you need to choose your intensity. You need to ensure that you are going to run or not run the ultrasound technology, and you're gonna figure out how long you need your contact round to be on for. Here, you're gonna see that this contact round is being run on high intensity for 12 minutes with ultrasound technology on. What's really neat here is that the ultrasound button not only is going to have the cavitation system, it's going to help break down your gel and cavitate into the enamel rods faster, but it also has a built-in air purification system. Super random, I know, but a great added benefit as a teeth whitening provider, especially if you are hoping to stick with the highest infection control policies for your local area. How this works is that you actually don't have to change a filter or anything. All that's happening while this unit is on is that ultrasound button that is also paired with what we call that air purification system is going to literally just spit out negative ions throughout the session. Those negative ions are going to grab contaminants in the air, drop them to the floor. That's going to allow you to have the best infection control on top of course, your standard disinfectant. But this is a huge step to make sure that you are providing the best and safest whitening treatment for your patients. As you can see, you do have your cord-based systems, and your cord-based system is going to allow you to be 2 meters apart. That's about 6 feet. So these cords are quite long. And you're gonna see that you're attaching directly to the arch here. That's massive. That means that you're actually getting real customization because you're attaching directly to the arch. And depending on how big or how small that smile line is, you are going to connect and get the perfect coverage for that person's smile line. Patients also are going to have so much more freedom here for actually scrolling, snapping, doing their thing. There's nothing bulky in their face. This is a huge plus for patients that are looking to get things done during their whitening session. As you can see, it's sleek. It's actually eye-catching. It doesn't even look like a whitening accelerator. And this is going to take up so much minimal space that if you are a provider that's at a stationary location, it's really easy to have in your clinic, regardless of how big your room size is. It doesn't take up much space. If you are a mobile provider or a clinic with multiple operatories, it's really easy to move around. It's only 9 kilograms, which is 20 pounds. And you can easily disinfect this unit. You do have to use disinfectant that is approved. You cannot be using things like Cavicide, Optum, Preempt, things like that. That's a no-no. You do need actual clinical disinfectant that is approved for technology specifically. But from there, you are going to have shortened chair time, extended results, and minimal to no sensitivity. That's 3 things that are going to change your teeth whitening protocol. Let's dive into how and why that all is happening in this unit and why the Beyond 2 Ultra is rated the top teeth whitening machine on the market. LED machines, as you can see, come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Remember, not one of these are a laser. You are not a laser technician, you are a teeth whitening technician, meaning that you are working with an LED lamp. There are a few things that actually help whitening break down. So our peroxides, our reactive oxygen species. If you need more info on what a whitening gel is, the breakdown of the chromophore theory, all those things, go find some of my other videos. But if you're here just for whitening lamp info, this is what you need. Each lamp is going to run off of some different technology. But before we even get into the technical specs, let's get into the functionality specs. Unfortunately, the majority of the lights on the market, excluding the Beyond 2 Ultra, are arm-based systems. That means that they have these weird arms that are really difficult to move around, okay? Especially depending on how tall or short they are. This usually means that you probably are making your patient have an awkward head tilt or an awkward scrunching tilt, or you as the provider are having to do some crazy ergonomics to get the lamp to actually get to the oral cavity. Arm-based systems are very difficult and it's really rare to get a good one. Comfortability is so hard with arm-based systems. You're gonna find that it's not only hard to get to the oral cavity, but you're gonna find once you get there, your arch reach sucks. So your arch reach is actually how much of the light is actually contacting intraorally. These low budget lights on the market are really hard to get post-cuspid. So that means that in a lot of situations, you're not even contacting the gel post-cuspid. And as we know, a lot of smile lines are post-cuspid. That means that you are actually not giving the best service and not oxidizing out all of the areas efficiently. Arm and arch reach are huge, and that's why the Beyond 2 Ultra has really taken over the industry, because you're completely cutting out that discomfort as a patient and also as a provider. From there, technical specs. This is where it gets a little confusing and you better grab a notebook. In the whitening realm of lights, there is a really big misconception that they are just a placebo and that they actually don't do anything. Here's the thing, depends on how you're using them. If you're using them safe and efficiently, or if you are using them for non-ideal reasons. Yes, when you are doing in-office whitening, our goal is to oxidize out the gels faster, so we kind of get that instant release, better known as what we call the jumpstart method. If you are working with a lamp that is heat-based, you are definitely always pushing higher levels of dehydration. Dehydrated teeth, guess what? They look super white. So this is why LED systems have a really bad rep, and there are different whitening systems on the market that a lot of dentists use that are non-LED based. But here's the kicker. Those systems require a lot longer chair time, and usually patients are questioning you at the end of the session did you do anything? Because you're not having that accelerated method to really get that patient the instant gratification that they're looking for. That's why LED lamps are on the market and still a huge player when it comes to in-office whitening. That being said, what does that mean from a technical sense? If we want our gels to break down faster and also give a brighter result more instantly, we need to be working with some sort of dehydration. But where the really bad rep comes from is over dehydrating. And over dehydration does come from heat and long contact times. When it comes to a technical spec, a couple things you need to know. Number one, we have irradiance. That is what we're going to call our actual milliwatts per square meter. So you're gonna see it in your technical specs under MWCM squared. If you have a whitening lamp, it has this in it, go find it. That number is going to be technically your heat output here. So think of it like this. We want our output to contact the tooth. If we have higher heat output, we always have the potential risk for more sensitivity, because that's pushing more iridescence onto the tooth at a higher rate. That means the higher that number actually is, the more dehydration potential, depending on how long you're leaving it on, you have. And again, the more dehydrated you are, the more sensitivity you're causing, the more false whites you're causing. So that number is actually not always beneficial to be higher. The higher your iridescence number, the more heat you have. From there, you have your wavelength. Your wavelength is going to be, when it comes to whitening, blue, 9 times out of 10. There are some whitening lamps that do incorporate red and blue-red together for more of like a purple, but usually blue is the most studied, and that wavelength is going to run between 420 to 495. Those are the most studied blue wavelengths, so those are your nanometers. The wavelength is going to be how you actually get, like what energy is actually getting to the tooth. You have your iridescence, which is going to be how much heat is going onto the tooth in the square meter. Then you're gonna have your wavelength, which is the type of light that you're actually using to break down the gel on the tooth. Then the only light on the market that has lux, illumination, which is brightness, is the Beyond 2 Ultra. Where it gets confusing is there was a lot of false educators and like some posts that were being made about the Beyond 2 Ultra over the years that since it has a lower iridescence number, it's not very powerful. But that's not true. There's a lot of things that go into creating a great whitening result. And that means that it's a lot more than just that heat-based number. So that means with the Beyond 2 Ultra's illumination paired, we haven't talked about it yet, but paired with something that they also have patent called the ultrasound technology, that lower iridescence number doesn't really mean much because it's adding so much more value with the illumination and the ultrasound technology. That's allowing you to get shorter chair times, less sensitivity, and real results over false dehydration. Because remember, more dehydration coming from what we call those heat base, or what we clinically know, lots of textbooks have this, is false white. All in all, when it comes to your technical specs, you really have to look at everything together and know the science behind actual whitening in general. That means that the Beyond 2 Ultra, since it has the different technology in it, it's typically, if you are working with high quality gels, shortening your chair time because you don't have to have as long of contact times since you're not working with a high heat based system. This is going to allow you to practically cut your chair times in half. So for example, at my clinic here in Canada, we used to do rounds of 20 minutes. We do 2 to 3 20-minute rounds with our Pro 25% gel. Now with the Beyond 2 Ultra, instead of our basic heat lamps, we do 2 to 3 rounds of 12 minutes. It's like the best of both worlds. We're not pushing that dehydration, and we're getting our patients in and out in a much shorter chair time, which patients love because, as you know, in this day and age, no one has time for anything. So shorter chair times, huge win. Better results that aren't fake, even bigger win. And the fact that you can see 2 people at once off of one system, the best win. So this is why the Beyond 2 Ultra is rated the top whitening machine on the market. So if you are a teeth whitening provider and you are currently struggling with things like arm reach, arch reach, sensitivity, long contact times, big bulky units that you have to carry around, friend, the Beyond 2 Ultra is your next step. Now, what's the price point? The price point's gonna vary depending on where you're purchasing it. So you need to contact an authorized dealer. Now, authorized dealers are very common for different areas, okay? So the Beyond manufacturing company actually doesn't sell direct. They only sell direct in like a couple areas, but they prefer that you go to your actual dealers because the dealers are the ones that are not only going to have better resources for you because that's their job, is to sell the machine. But usually they also have some great package plans as well if you are purchasing the Ultra machine. So buying through an authorized retailer is what you're going to want to do. That's where you're also going to get your warranty. It's going to come with the 3-year warranty, which is huge. And if you're pairing the machine with gels that are actually recommended and tested, then you'll also get a 30-day return policy as well. So where are you going to buy the Beyond 2 Ultra? You're going to look for an authorized retailer. Please be aware that on the internet, there are some false retailers. If you see a price that seems way too good to be true, like under $1,000, then that's literally not a real company. The Beyond 2 Ultra on the market as of 2026 is going to be sitting over $1,000. So you're going to contact your retailer and get a full quote spec, depending on if you want 1 or 2 cords as well to see 1 or 2 people. And then also extra bonuses. Like if you want it color wrapped, you can get it wrapped in a color. And depending on where you're located, there may or may not be shipping fees involved. So you need to contact a retailer. The retailer that I would recommend for you is Fern Whitening Supplies, largest authorized retailer with the Beyond Ultra machine. They're gonna have the best price, the best options, and you do save a lot if you buy in a bundle plan. So the Beyond 2 Ultra from Fern Whitening Supplies as their authorized retailer is going to be a great option. And outside of that, you're also going to want to make sure that you are prepared to change your whitening experience. Your patients are gonna love it. You're gonna go from 90+ minutes down to under 60 minutes for one session. Our team literally sees 2 people at once for a 60-minute session. Hello, what are you doing? Okay, so if you want the Beyond 2 Ultra, jump in the comments if you need help purchasing it from Fern Whitening Supplies, but more or less just jump on their website and get a quote. Make sure to watch more of my videos of the Beyond 2 Ultra in use. You can see how seamless and easy it is. But this is my review on the Beyond 2 Ultra, and hopefully it's gonna help you grow your teeth whitening business for the 2026 season.